What's going on, fam? Josh here, back in the dojo. Excuse the nasally voice. I get sick so rarely that I can almost say I never get sick. I may get sick, once a year, once every 2 years. And it's usually a 24-hour joint, a little cold, a little sniffle. So I think today is that day. So excuse the sniffles. So today we got some halal food, right? Now, if you live in the city, I'm pretty sure you know what halal carts are. They got like your rice and lamb, your rice and chicken, or the salad, your wraps, gyros or gyros or gyros, whatever you want to call them. So this is what we have today, right? We've got a chicken. So we have the chicken right here. And we have the lamb. And we have the lamb here, right? Now the story behind these are, there's plenty of halal carts in the city. There's actually one, I'm on, say, 3rd Street, between 2nd and 3rd. There's one right on 4th Street, or 3rd Street. I don't go to that one, though. I actually go up a bit more to 8th Street, 8th or 9th Street, for a couple of reasons. One, it's cheaper. We all know inflation is affecting everything. Food, groceries, toiletries, gas, whole bunch of things. The halal carts have been touched, too. And they've gone up maybe a couple of dollars over the past couple of years. But this particular guy, he stayed the same. So I go to this guy because the prices are still $6 for these, and also because they give me the most food. So it's a win-win, right? So even though, it's not inconvenient, it's not that far, but even though I have to go out of my way to get to him, I have to pass up a couple halal carts, it's worth it to me. Because this is my first real official food review, there will be like a learning curve. It'll take me time to sort of figure out what I want to judge, right? So I went to ChatGPT, typed in food review template. So I'm rocking out with ChatGPT today to judge these particular foods. Now, in full transparency, I've had plenty of these, but I want to judge them now. So I know that I do like them, but let's judge them. So here are a couple of things that ChatGPT told me to judge them on. We got food quality, we've got service, right? We've got ambience. I guess this is talking about restaurants, price and value, specialties, and overall experience. So I guess this is food/restaurant. And then again, I prompted it again, and it told me to judge off of these parameters: taste, freshness, presentation, texture, and consistency, right? So let's go with the second 5, right? And I think I want to dig into the chicken first, okay? So as far as taste, we're talking about evaluating flavors, seasonings, and how well the different components in dish complement each other. So go up, based off of my limited knowledge of how to judge or rate a food, I do have to say these joints right here, these are tasty because of the different textures, or I should say no, not really the textures, because it's all pretty squishy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm being honest, right? We got the soft chicken, we've got lettuce, we've got the soft wrap. So there's slightly different textures, some onions, some red onions. But I do notice the difference in the way the savoriness and the sweetness, I think, of the red sauce and the white sauce complement each other. Right, so obviously there are good spices on here. Let's go and dig into this. The chicken is very sweet. I don't know what sauce they use to marinate it in, but the sauce is sweet. There's a little bit of kick from the I think the red sauce, which is not terribly hot, but a little bit of spice. As far as freshness, as far as I can tell, it's street food. They call it street meat in New York. It doesn't taste like it's not fresh, but like that. I think with my limited palate, or at least explaining, how I sort of like interpret a food, I will be able to tell if something was wrong with the meal, as opposed to like the freshness, the quality of the freshness. Whether it's like, I can tell they just cooked this today, or they use fresh ingredients. That I'm not versed on yet, but stay with me, we'll learn. But it's not bad, so I'm going to say it's relatively fresh. Presentation, you know what these do. They all pretty much look the same, which is like, as far as gyros go, I can't knock it. So if I have 5 stars to rate, I would probably give this 2.5 to 3 stars. Just because I'm not sure if any of them have like terribly neat wraps and gyros. I think they all pretty much look like this, but the lamb is a bit more like clear, right? You can sort of see the different ingredients, the lamb, the cucumbers, lettuce, onions again. You know what I mean? You can see it more. Maybe it's not as clear here because, you know, it's like all red. All right, and before we get into this one, texture. Like I said, the textures are pretty smushy. Obviously, they have the chewiness of the chicken. There's not a lot of crunchiness to the onions and the cucumbers. You get a bit of a bite, but I think because of the heat, because they're all sort of marinated together, meshed together, they get softened, which is, you know, to be expected. So not a ton of texture. And then, you know, a wrap, the bread is the bread. All right, so not a ton of texture. As far as consistency, evaluate whether the quality remains consistent across different dishes or courses. Well, this is all we have, so we can't really judge on that. The service is solid. Let's go and switch over to this now, because I'm pretty much going to say the same things about this. Let's go ahead and give it a bite. I normally always get the lamb. I rarely get the chicken. The lamb just has such a, I want to say like a unique flavor. Maybe it's because growing up in America, lamb isn't something we ate all the time. So I guess from just it being something relatively unique to chicken, I like the lamb better. If you're talking about texture, I think we do get more texture in this one, even though same ingredients as far as the salad, tomatoes, onions, but because it's not as soggy, and I think because it's not, you know, drenched in that red sauce like the chicken is, the cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, they don't get as soft, right? So there's a bit more texture in the lamb joint. Again, same little bit kick, not too much. Similar to the chicken dish. I like the way the savoriness of, I guess, the lamb and the sweetness of the yogurt, that white yogurt. The way they dance with each other is pretty tasty, which is why this is the one I get most often. Service is great. I mean, it's a halal stand, so it's not like a 5-star restaurant or anything like that, but the guy's pretty cool. And it's always nice when you go to a place, whether it's a halal stand, hot dog stand, or a restaurant, and they know what you want. Pull up lamb, chicken, or 2 lambs, or a lamb. Sometimes I'll get the fish. So the service is great. Again, the price is cheaper than the other halal stands. I get more food, and the service is more than adequate. If I were doing recommendations, I would say go to the guy, 8th and Spring Garden, right outside the traffic court, and rock with him. If I had to choose between the two, I'm going lamb first, then chicken. If we brought the fish dish in here, which I'll do a review of that, I would probably say lamb, chicken, then fish. Sometimes I would want the fish. Like those last two are interchangeable. Lamb, chicken, fish, or lamb, fish, chicken. But the lamb is always going to be number one. Again, a bit cleaner. Presentation is a bit more, you know, manageable. And you get a bit more texture because everything's not soggy. Not to degrade the chicken joint, but I'm saying because this it's not marinated in a bunch of like red sauce, you do get more bite of the cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, right? Stuff like that. So that's my review. I'm gonna go ahead and finish knocking this out. I'll do more food reviews. Let me know what types of things you guys want me to review. Restaurants, foods, snacks, drinks. I have a meeting with one of my good friends tomorrow. We're going to review like movies, classic movies. We can talk about different trilogies, and I actually think that we'll start with that. Meaning, what movie had a greater trilogy? Right? Was it Back to the Future? Was it what was the other one? The Ninja Turtles trilogy? Was it Lord of the Rings? Right? Different things like that, and we'll sort of judge. We'll templatize everything. We'll have everything organized so we can judge the soundtrack, shot selection, the dialogue, the color grade, character development, different things like that. So y'all stay tuned. As always, ABC, always be creating, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.